Hi, my name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine. We're here this week with Tua doing developer interviews at WWDC in San Francisco. We're getting feedback from developers on what they thought of Apple's announcements, how it impacts them, and also finding out a little bit about what's going on. Right now I have sitting with us Jeff Fetchick from Dataviz. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
Why don't we start off with, Dataviz. God, Dataviz has been around forever and ever and ever. It's like I was just reminiscing in my mind in here about, thinking about Dataviz back to the, document translation kind of days, way decades ago. It seems like actually it probably is at this point. But Dataviz is a different company today. You guys have a different focus on stuff, compared to 20 years ago on it. I think there's some elements that are still the same, but
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Well, you have embarrassed me a little bit, and I'm showing my age, but I was around for the Maclin Plus days, which was literally in excess of 25 years ago.
Oh my God.
But maybe, I don't know, we may be stubborn, or maybe we're just onto something, but we really have kind of stuck to our knitting when it comes to basing our business upon bringing Microsoft technologies and Microsoft capabilities to platforms where Microsoft might not want to themselves.
Sure.
So we really cut our teeth on our Documents to Go software. That was started hugely in the Palm days. Palm preloaded our Documents to Go software for viewing, editing, and creating Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files first on the PDAs and then later onto the Trio smartphones.
Right.
We took that technology to just about every successful mobile platform, since that time, ranging from things like Symbian to, believe it or not, Windows Mobile.
Okay.
Places like Android and iPhone and iOS, today are still hugely successful. But one of our new technologies and things that we're kind of very interested to talk about at this show is our new Passwords Plus software. So it's not just a password manager.
Right.
It's the ability to not only store and manage your confidential information like passwords and account information, but it's also the ability to access it anytime, no matter where you are, no matter what device you're on.
Right.
And most importantly, the fact to do it securely.
Right.
Today it's funny.
And with the product, there's both a password element and an access element, as well as a data storage element, to it as well, right? Where it's like some of the other cloud products out there, like Dropbox and some things that Apple's doing with storage. You guys are doing that as well.
Absolutely, and again, it really hinges back on security. It's
right.
Like, this information is important to people, and it's Symantec recently did a survey, and they found that 70% of people said they lost or forgot a password in the last month.
Right.
That same survey also showed that people found that remembering passwords and account information is being one of the biggest problems they face today.
Right.
The problem is the way they have dealt with it up until now is either one, they've kind of chosen a ridiculously simple password like 1111,
right,
which is the password on my iPhone right now,
or the most prevalent password I think these days is 12345.
Exactly.
I think it's like 60% of passwords.
Exactly. So they've done something like that,
yeah.
Or they've picked their favorite pet's name
right.
or their child's birthday,
right.
and then they've used it for every password they've ever created. But the problem with that is that's especially with identity theft on the rise.
Right.
It's like that's an extremely risky way to go about managing your passwords.
Right.
So with our software, the idea is you remember one password, a master password. We recommend and we show you how to create a stronger password. We recognize that everybody might not want to do the 18-digit uppercase, lowercase, special characters, alphanumeric. But we do recommend that you do a relatively strong password. Remember one. We think everybody can remember one reasonable password,
right.
And then let us take care of managing the rest of your passwords.
Right.
We have auto generate capabilities so that you can generate for those other passwords that strong
really super strong
and not have to worry about remembering it because you're always going to have it. Whether it's on your iPhone or your iPad or your PC or your Mac, your laptop, your desktop, no matter where you are, you're going to have that information. So you might as well have it be strong information.
There you go.
And that's really the competitive advantage of our product today is the fact that you, again, not only have it stored, you not only have it stored securely, but you have access to it anywhere and anytime.
So what kind of passwords are you guys supporting? Obviously, web interfaces are going to be supported in there as well. What else are you doing in here as far as managing passwords?
So that is by and large the vast majority of what people initially think of when they want to store, so it's websites, it's account information,
Right.
but it also gets into things like, social security numbers.
Right.
And it's like, back in the college days, that was like our ID, and it was hard to believe they actually printed it right on your ID.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't hard to remember one, but then you have a family and you have your kids, social security numbers, you have your spouse or your significant others,
Right.
social security numbers, you have, investment account, information, you have your bank account information,
Right.
and it just grows, and it's a limitless or an endless, amount of, information that you may or may not want
Right.
anybody else to find. So
Right.
really, we draw the line at anything that you want to be private or confidential.
So it's not, you wouldn't really think of the product as a password protection, but more just a sensitive data protection,
Exactly.
including passwords.
Exactly, and again, that is the whole passwords plus,
Right.
concept.
Yeah.
And again,
Now I understand the plus part of it.
the passwords are that it is
Yeah.
it's certainly the vast majority of what people initially think of. But then it's one of those things where it's
Once they
just,
get into it, they start to see the
It's an
difference.
incredibly
Right.
sticky product when people. We and this is another thing where, believe it or not, we've had a password product out there back from the Palm days, and we had these customers, and they were just the stickiest customers. They once you start using it, you'll never want to stop it. And we had these people still using that Palm version up until the last year when we released the iPhone version.
Right.
And it's just something that once you start using it, you see, it's easy to see the value.
So on the storage side, and then I want to get to the keynote and the announcements here. On the storage side, what makes you different from some of the other cloud services that are out there?
So, a couple of things at a very high level. I think it's the intuitiveness, the ease of use, and it's just a lot of those other products are just they're confusing and they're complex. When you come into our product, you go to you're at the App Store, you purchase your iPhone edition, you go to our website, download the free desktop version.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at this, we're actually releasing our new Mac version. You're going to be able to download a free beta copy of that later in the coming days. And the idea there is that we don't try to take you off the road, the journey that you're on. You want to securely store your passwords.
Right.
So we don't try to sell you on 13 different cloud services that can help you to store your data or your music
Right,
or your videos. And if you use those other products, they do. Many of them are starting to offer that cloud support. But then they take you off on a tangent and they kind of introduce you to a cloud partner, and it's like I love the guys at Box and wherever whoever you might be using, but again the customer didn't really come there for that, and they didn't want to have to go off and get kind of sidetracked into signing up for a cloud account and then to eventually have to remember, wait a minute, I was on the passwords journey a second ago. How do I get back on that?
Right.
With our software, you log in, you're in there, you're in Passwords Plus. You can start entering your passwords immediately, and we offer you. It's like, by the way, do you want the ability to access this information?
Sure.
And we never mention the word cloud. We don't tell you we don't make you sign up for a cloud account. We handle that in the background. We securely handle that in the background, and we keep you on your mission to store and access your passwords.
Right.
So it's very seamless.
So real quick here, because we just have a moment, what announcement did Apple make that excited you most, and then what impact does that have on you guys, and or does it?
Well, it's I think me, like 99.9% of all the other attendees were ready to run out and
Buy a
purchase,
MacBook Pro with a Retina display.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
I was a little
I
disappointed.
really need to rephrase that question. Other than the MacBook Pro with Retina display, what was your favorite thing about the announcement?
I'm putting on my wish list for the iPhone 5,
Yeah.
putting or any iOS
Right.
6 device that that they're gonna come out with. But beyond that, they did a number of things. I know that our developers were very excited about things that Apple has done, which will make it easier for us to develop our current products as
Right.
well as new products in the future.
Right.
So things like auto layout, the availability of APIs for sharing common kinds of data, like
Right.
documents and files.
Right.
But additionally, probably one of the most interesting aspects is the furthering of the iCloud technology. And again, coming from the documents to go heritage, things, it's the obvious, reasons of wanting to be able to share and utilize iCloud for document sharing, but also the fact to be able to, the ability to be able to pass the common states and information back and forth between Mac and iOS devices will make it a better user experience.
Right.
And it's just the the endless opportunities that Apple seems to bring to developers by advancing their technology. So I don't know if I could pinpoint one.
No, I think that was good.
But I know our developers are very excited about the opportunities going forward.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate you coming and stopping by and tell us a little bit about what you guys are up to. It's great to see Dataviz, and a company with a lot of heritage in this industry, doing great and new and interesting things. And it's good to hear what's going on. So thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah. My name is Neil Ticktin. These are the 2 MacTech interviews at WWDC, and thanks for watching.